Hello, and welcome to my page. My name is Adrian Silva. I go by the Ace of Real Estate. I'm with Clear View Realty. I'm your Zillow Premier Agent in El Paso, Texas, here to guide you through your next real estate transaction, whether you are buying or selling. But first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have been licensed since 2013, so I'm bringing you over a decade of experience. I have sold over 400 properties. I've deployed capital for Wall Street investors. I've helped regular, everyday people buy and sell real estate. I am born here in and raised in El Paso, Texas. I highly enjoy investments, reading and watching financial markets and movies. I do have experience with real estate, the stock market, and the crypto markets as early as 2010. I am a husband of Adrian Silva. I am a father of three, Ace, Axe, and my daughter, Aiko Silva. I'm very passionate about real estate. I do believe it's the best asset class compared to other investment asset classes out there that exist. I believe in over delivering on every transaction, which is what I call acing the transaction, which is my brand. I believe in that versus just performing and doing an average real estate deal. I'm here to get you the best deal. If you are buying a home, I'm going to try to help you get that home for the lowest price possible and the best terms possible, as well as selling a home. If you are selling a home, I am here to get you top dollar. If we need to break a record, I'm here for that challenge. I have done it for past clients. And you'll usually find me wearing something black, which is my favorite color. A little bit about the buying process. Now, if you are selling, I do have an infographic that will walk you through that roadmap. But this is the buying process roadmap. Step number one, meet with a real estate expert. Step number two, getting approved. Once you are approved with the lender, that is when I recommend jumping into step number three, searching for homes. Once you find the home you love, I will help you structure a competitive offer. At that point, I will give you my recommendation, but ultimately, you will have the knowledge and information needed to make an informed decision so you can make an offer based on whatever terms you find fit. Negotiations. After the offer, negotiations will begin. The seller may accept your offer, may counter your offer, or may reject your offer. I will help you negotiate that offer. Once we come into an agreement, we will be officially under contract, which is step number 6. Once you are in the contract, you do have to make a fair amount of things, such as depositing earnest money deposits, start your due diligence process, such as inspecting the property, which is something I highly recommend. And in some cases, you may need an appraisal. But once we finalize everything, once you are happy with the outcome of the inspection, negotiations, also the terms you are getting if you are financing the property, once everything is finalized, we will make sure those details are ironed out, all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, getting you scheduled for your closing day, which is step number 8. So it is a pretty simple 8-step process. So closing day is a happy day. If you are buying a home, that is a day that you will usually get the keys. And at that point is when you will need to bring the rest of your down payment needed to buy that property, if any. A little bit about my career. So I did graduate from high school back in 2009, Austin High School. 2011, I ended up completing some in-person online courses on investing in stocks and real estate with Rich Dad University, which is taught by Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. I learned how to trade options, and I had a strategy that generated a pretty good amount of money within the first 2 months of my trading experience. But I ended up using that money to buy a car. So I was back to square one. And it's 2013, I decided to get my real estate license, not only to generate my income and do that as a career, but also to learn about real estate and real estate investing, because I knew that I wanted to be a real estate investor as well. In my rookie year, 2013, I did become a multi-million-dollar producer. In 2014, I signed a 5-year non-compete contract, and I became a main, role, you can say, a main operator of a real estate private investment firm where I was the acquisition manager, the disposition manager, as well as a property manager. I represented investors from Wall Street, from Hollywood, from NFL, different people that wanted to get a piece of El Paso real estate, had the option to invest passively. And I was pretty much their go-to agent here in El Paso, in charge of making pretty big decisions for a big portfolio. In 2019, as I mentioned, I became the property manager in addition to the acquisition and disposition manager, as well as an office manager. So I was overlooking not only more properties, but also employees. And then 2020 happened. I became the number 2 ranked realtor in El Paso when you rank them by number of transaction sites, including closed homes, leases, lots, and commercial. I was doing all of it. April 2021, I decided to resign from the company I was at after 8 years to launch a crypto hedge fund. I did hang my real estate license with eXp Realty while I focused on the crypto hedge fund. However, 1 month later, I was down 50%. So I decided I'm going to stick to what I do best, which is real estate. And in 2022, I asked the man above, God, our God, our Father, for some guidance. And within minutes, days, I decided to join Clear View Realty, which is a faith-based company and the number 1 real estate brokerage in El Paso. It's a very interesting story. I actually was asking God between, whether to stay in crypto or whether to stay in real estate, but he pulled me to Clearview, which was my answer, plus the brokerage I needed to be at. A little bit about me and Clearview. So Clearview is the number 1 brokerage in El Paso, Texas. We service El Paso County, Texas, as well as cities such as Horizon, Socorro, San Elizario. Clearview Realty is locally based in Ohm. And again, they are ranked number 1, not because we think so, but because we are actually outselling all of El Paso brokerages by volume. Here are some questions you should ask yourself if you are thinking about buying. Got to make sure you have steady income, low to medium debt, cash for down payment and closing, 2 months of pay stubs, bank statements, 2 years with the same company or the same industry. And that doesn't always apply. There are some exemptions that could be made. And last but not least, pre-approved with a lender. As far as getting pre-approved, these are some options that, some things that the lender may request during that initial meeting and application. You're going to go ahead and submit your ID, your driver's license, pay stubs, 2 months bank statements, 2 years of tax returns, proof of employment. You will need at least a 580 plus FICO credit score. However, if you are looking for alternative financing options, there are some that can finance below 580, so don't think that that is a hard number. And last but not least, I know you're probably going to want a lender recommendation, so I made it easy. You can just click here to see a list of lenders I recommend. And if you are unable to click here because you're watching a video, I will go ahead and include that link in my website. So just go to my website, elpasotx.realestate, hover under buy, and you'll see a list of recommended lenders. Here are some estimated upfront costs. So when it comes to buying a home, you're going to have either a down payment if you're financing, usually, unless you are military or using some form of down payment assistance. In addition, there are closing costs such as, lender fees and things like that. These are costs that are associated with your due diligence. So, for example, a home inspection, a termite inspection, a pool inspection are all optional but highly recommended. And you'll see in parentheses what is optional, what is basically required. An earnest money deposit is negotiable between the seller and the buyer, but usually I see that figure to be about $1,000 these days, sometimes even 1% or higher, and it is due within 3 days after your offer is accepted. The option fee, if you have an option period, you will need to deposit that within 3 days after your offer is accepted. An option fee grants you an option period, which gives you the option to terminate for any reason and receive your earnest money deposit back. So in this scenario that you terminate and you have an option fee of $50 and a deposit of $500 and you terminate during your option period, then all you will lose is $50 and get your $500 back. Home inspection, termite inspection, and pool inspections, like I mentioned, are all optional, and they all kind of vary depending on the inspector and the size of the home. The appraisal, if you are buying with cash, you will not require an appraisal, so it would be optional if you want one. But if you are financing, usually there is an appraisal because that lender is going to want to determine the appraised value of that property. Usually due within 1 to 2 weeks after the contract. So total estimated upfront costs is going to be about $1,250 on the low side, $2,500 on the high side. Now, tell me a little bit about you. What are you expecting from your agents? Do you know how real estate brokerage services work? So here in the United States, there is a real estate broker who can be your buyer's representative solely, advising you about the buying process and negotiating on your behalf. And if you are a home seller or you're selling a property, there are real estate brokers who can represent you solely as a seller so that they are looking out for you, similar to when you hire an attorney to represent you in a case. There's usually a victim and a defender, or one of those. I think that's what they're called. But pretty much same thing in a real estate deal, right? There's a seller and a buyer. There's a real estate agent who can represent one side of the party solely. And there is an option here in Texas called an intermediary relationship, where that broker can be an intermediary agent, where he cannot give advice, but will be honest and fair to all parties. Now, that little bit about how brokerage works. Now that we're on this question, I do like to know what you expect from your agents, and when was the last time you bought or sold a home? How did you like that process? It does vary state to state, country to country, so I would like to inform you what's going on here in Texas, specifically in El Paso. I can guide you and give you some insights in our market because it may be different than the Austin market, for example. In Austin markets, I'm sure it'll be probably harder to negotiate a $500 deposit versus getting that in El Paso. So just an example. It all varies. What scares you about buying a home? Anything that I can answer for you? Usually something that you have fear of can be turned around with information on that. What don't you like about where you are living now? Who will be living with you? Is there anyone else helping you make a decision? Family member, friend, significant other? I do like to know these things so that I can include them in a conversation, make sure we're all on the same page. So understanding what you're looking for is a top priority for me. You don't have to answer these questions via email, via text. I created a buyer questionnaire. If you would like access to this, let me know and I'll be more than happy to send you it. We're going to go over location, price, square footage, bedrooms, baths, the style of the home you like, features, schools you like. As far as searching for real estate, I know in today's age, there are a lot of home buyers and even sellers doing their own research, looking at homes for sale on the internet. Agents still have access to, in my opinion, the best options when it comes to searching, because we have the MLS, the multiple listing service, which is something that we as agents, professionals, licensed individuals have access to only. It's closed to the public. However, we do share information with the public. A lot of listings are on public websites, but not all. So I do use the MLS to see homes that are coming soon, for example, or homes that may be pending or withdrawn or canceled for whatever reason. I have that information. I do have an agent network as well, some from my brokerage here at Clearview, and some that are outside Clearview, but here in El Paso, that are promoting homes that may not be publicly listed on websites like Zillow or Realtor.com or even Redfin, but I can access through my agent network. And I do have two websites, El Paso TX.real estate and El Paso TX real.estate, where you'll have access to that same MLS information as well. Now, like I mentioned, as a client and customer, you are free to search at other websites such as Zillow, Realtor.com. If you see a yard sign, an open house, or model homes for new homes that are being built, or if maybe a friend let you know about a property or is your friend's property or for sale by owner, contact me about a listing. Why? Because anything you say to a seller or seller's agent can and will be used against you, just like in the legal field. So if you tell a seller or a seller's agent that you love the property and you're willing to sell your right lump for it, that takes away my ability to negotiate for you. So please keep that information between me and you. I'm the one looking out for you, not the seller, not the seller's agent. So that's what I'm here for. But you're free to search. Just contact me for information about those listings or for any questions. And last but not least, high-tech tools. So I can subscribe you to my CRM, my website, and not only that, but I can update you in real time before the portals do. So that means seconds or minutes within another agent listing a property that matches your boxes. You can get that email within seconds through me. So just let me know. I also don't want to bombard your email inbox. So if you prefer to change it to once a day, twice a day, twice a week, once a month, we can do that. So, last but not least, making an offer. Once you fall in love with the home, I'm here to help you structure the best offer to get the best terms possible. We're going to go over market value. I will not let you make an offer on a home without knowing the market value. So that means I'm going to do an analysis for you. We call those the CMAs for short, but they stand for a comparable market analysis. It is different from an appraisal, but it is very similar. Usually, you will get this for free at no upfront cost from a realtor, at least for me. So I will do that for you. As far as expectations, I'm going to help you gather information on seller preferences by contacting the seller's agent. We're going to go over the earnest money deposit, what I recommend, down payment finance amount that you and your lender have agreed on, important dates, closing costs, what's included and excluded in a home, and whether your offer will be accepted, counteroffered, or declined. If there are any temporary leases, leasebacks, we need to include an offer. That is something I can help you draft as well. Once your offer is accepted, this is what the next steps are. Depositing earnest money to title company within 3 days of offer acceptance. Schedule inspection, optional but recommended. Once we have that inspection report, I will personally go through it and make a video just like this one and recommend some repairs that I would want to negotiate for you. Whether we want the seller to complete them prior to closing or whether you want to complete them prior to closing but maybe receive some form of credit. That could be a closing cost credit or possibly a discount on the home sales price. So whatever it is, I'm here to help you negotiate that. And again, that is optional, but highly recommended. That a couple $100 investment on an inspection report could save you thousands is the way I see it. Once we are done with that step, we're going to order the appraisal. If you are financing, we are going to order home insurance, finalize your mortgage details with your lender. And once everything is ready, we'll do a final walkthrough. That way, we're going to ensure the home is in the same condition that you saw it in and there are no surprises. And shortly after that, we'll schedule a closing so that you can get the keys to the property. These are some items that a lender may charge you for closing costs. As I mentioned, the home appraisal, home inspection, processing fees, underwriting fee, lender fees, loan discount fees, etc., etc. These are estimates that these are fees that your lender can provide you with estimates on pretty early on in the process. Closing day. This is the final step. It is the big day. I'll accompany you to the closing 99% of the time. The only time I don't is when title companies either don't want agents to be there because there's a, I don't know. We had COVID, happen, and they were not allowing us to accompany our clients for safety reasons. Should that ever happen, hopefully not, knock on wood. But most of the time I will accompany you to closing, so just know that. Unless you're closing out of town or something like that. But pretty much all you'll need to do is to bring your identification. You will know how much down payment you need to bring with you the day of. If you are using financing, of course, or if you are buying a cash deal, we're going to know what that final amount is to bring to closing. If you are buying cash, just know that they don't accept actual cash. It will need to be sent via wire or certified check. And as of right now, crypto is not allowed. Like, you can't buy the house sending Bitcoin directly to a seller, but we do have title companies that can facilitate crypto transactions. So isn't it funny? Like, cash deals, you can't actually buy with actual cash, and crypto deals, you can't buy. I mean, you could buy with crypto, but it's not peer-to-peer like crypto was meant to be. You still have to go through some steps. So anyways, I'm here to guide you through that. Once we close and we fund the deal, you will get the keys to and take possession. There are some cases where if you close on a Friday and the transaction closes, but it doesn't fund until Monday, unfortunately, that would mean that you won't get your keys till Monday. But most of the time, we can be strategic on the closing so that we make sure that you have the keys once you need them, whether it's a temporary lease or whatever. Here's my contact information: phone number, email, and website. I'll let you take a screenshot of this. Give you a few seconds here. 3, 2, 1. And here are the 10 buyer commandments. While you are in the process of buying a home, these are some rules to live by, because I have seen transactions get canceled, unfortunately, because things happen. Sometimes you lose a job. Sometimes you think because you got pre-approved, you still can buy a car or a van or credit cards. And honestly, you can't. You're pre-approved. You're not approved. The real estate process, when it comes to financing, literally the day of closing, they're calling your employer, making sure that you're still working. They're checking your credit accounts, making sure that you're not late or have increased in debt. So this really is important. I'll let you take a screenshot of this as well. 3, 2, 1. And that is all. Thank you for watching, and I hope that we will be doing a deal soon. Let's do this.